film.
We have such sights to show you.
Welcome back to the TDMMVI, a horror podcast. I'm Jesse Spitzer,
and I'm J.R. Lees.
And we're coming off of our coverage of the Frankenstein movies, and we kind of figured it was a bit of a blind spot for me, these like early monster movies, and it's like Jason's love has endless love for them. So we thought we'd follow it up with this episode here, where we're just gonna kind of talk about the classic monsters and what they've done for modern horror, and obviously just kind of why they're so important and so beloved.
And like how they're different than like slashers and other stuff. Why they're so like unique.
Yeah. Yeah. So full disclosure, prior to preparing for this particular episode, the only ones I had ever seen were the two Frankensteins. Obviously, we just watched those. And then I had seen Invisible Man back when we covered our favorite remakes, because I love the Invisible Man remake. And I really liked that movie. So going into this, I watched Wolfman for the first time. I watched Dracula for the first time. I watched Invisible Man again, and then watched kind of a weird one that I had never heard of before that you had suggested, Mad Monster Party, which was just incredible.
Glorious. I don't know why no one knows that movie.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling to me. It feels like it should be on the same level as like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for Christmas.
Yeah, the same guys made it. And I always figured it's Boris Karloff in it. It should be at least as well known as The Grinch.
Sure.
And mentioned in the comments, and Phyllis Diller's in it, and I just love it's in an era when everything's IP and we're having monster universes. Mad Monster Party should be celebrated,
Yeah.
And I get it's aged. I watched it again, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember this being quite so. Hey, get me a sandwich, lady. As when I watched it as a kid, but it still explains my thing for redheads.
It's an incredibly horny movie. We maybe we'll get into it a little more later. I think we should probably start with the classics.
Yeah.
So Dracula is the classic, which I had watched now for the first time. And I was kind of the performances really drive, I think, this movie more so, because the ones we'll talk about a little bit later are incredible special effects for the time. This one feels like the special effects of the time that you kind of would expect. The bats on strings kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the performances are great. I love Dracula's little henchman guy. He's so creepy and weird. There's that shot of him like at the bottom of the stairs, just like doing that creepy, that creepy laugh is really good.
As a kid, the star was Bela Lugosi, but now I watch it, it's entirely Dwight Fry. It's the psych. Yeah. It's the stares. He's creepy. Mm-hmm. The absolute insanity in his eyes. That comes off more as a kid. Is cool cape, and then later it's like, that guy's gonna eat you no matter what.
Yeah.
The bug eating little bastard.
Yeah. The other standout performance was the girl who played Lucy. How her character changes so much throughout the movie, and the actress does a really good job of like portraying her she's just kind of like a rich, proper young woman at the beginning, and then as she kind of starts to fall for Dracula and his charms and things, she kind of like loses her mental a little bit.
And that's kind of rare for films of the 30s. Usually you came in and did one note, but she actually does have, like I said, an arc, which is really impressive for being not the title character, the title monster.
Yeah. So I think overall, out of all the movies I watched, it's probably, I don't want to call it my least favorite, but it was the one that I was like the most familiar with going into this, because obviously, it's been done a bajillion times. So it's kind of like, there wasn't a lot of surprises.
And you've just watched Nosferatu recently, the new ones. And like you said, it's the same story that's been done a million times. And it's probably the least of the Universal movies where they have the Jack Pierce, the monster makeup as a star. This is just Bela Lugosi's face. Yeah. It's just him acting. It's him being creepy. It's the tux. They don't have that the film yet, because like this one, it's very much a stage play. it's an old joke, but it's like in this one, and other ones they show the monster transformation, Wolfman, and then this one it's like, oh, there's wolves in the yard, and then they show the guy walk to the window and look out. They don't show outside. Oh, it's a terrible wolf.
Yeah.
And they go back inside. So it's like a stage play, on film.
Mm-hmm.
It's still fun,
Yeah, I like they got armadillos. Like that. I saw that, I was like, oh, that's exciting. I like armadillos. But yeah, I think this one out of the ones that I watched today were probably was my least favorite, but just because, like I said, it wasn't anything surprising, and it is definitely like the first of these movies. Like, it doesn't have the polish that the later ones have. Even like Frankenstein is a lot more polished movie, I would say. This one's a little more rough around the edges.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you? Like, what was your first experience with? Would you even remember your first experience watching?
I think I saw Dracula not as often. When I was a kid, I didn't see it first run in the theater. Don't make that joke. But it would have been the 70s. I was doing the research on it. It would have been, I think, KTLA, either Creature Features or they would do a movie of the week, like $1 Million movie of the week, which is just such a cliche sounding thing. And I think they played the same movie, from my research, was every day of the week. This movie of the week would have been Monday through Friday, one movie at like 4 p.m. And again, I was 5, so I wasn't the one in charge of the VCR, the remote control. But we had on tape, beta. We had Frankenstein, we had Wolfman, we had all the Godzillas they did, a bunch of samurai stuff. I don't think we had Dracula on tape. No one thought to hit record that week. So I've seen this one probably the fewest times of anything else.
Sure.
And I love Bela Lugosi, and I was the guy but my Dracula growing up was Frank Langella in like the 79 one. With Olivier as Van Helsing. But I've always thought that for years I thought that Dracula needs to wear the tuxedo and the cape. And then when Coppola did it in like 91, something like that.
Sure.
And Gary Oldman, who's incredible.
Yeah.
I still kind of think you need to have a cape, because Monster Squad has a cape. When Scooby-Doo met him, he had a cape on. The cartoon, like the Drac Pack, he has a tuxedo. And it's based on Lugosi in that look, was so, like you couldn't, after a while, because Universal owned the right to the Jack Pierce makeup for Frankenstein's in the future couldn't have the flat makeup. You couldn't have the bolts in the neck. You had to make it all different.
Sure.
But they couldn't copyright the tuxedo and the cape.
Mm-hmm.
So this really is the look that I love about a vampire. I mean, you can't put Lost Boys in a tuxedo. But when I watch again, I kind of go, yeah, this could have been like a half hour shorter, even though it's a super short.
Yeah.
So I love it for what it stands for, but whenever I'm watching it, I always think about, I space off and I think about Tim Burton's Ed Wood.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'm going, I always slide into that. So I probably haven't watched Dracula and not gone,
Yeah.
So many times. But yeah, no, I still dig it, but it's not the one to go back and visit. I don't have any tattoos of Dracula. And Bela Lugosi for me is is Ed Wood's version of Bela Lugosi.
Yeah. This was not planned. I put this back here a few weeks ago, but I'm actually curious because I have a Curse of Strahd, which is a D&D book. He does have a cape. It's not a tux, but definitely based on like
it's definitely a Bela, the way to speak. Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, I mean, pretty much every depiction of Dracula or like a Dracula adjacent, you have to have that look. It's iconic. But yeah, so the next one I watched was Wolfman, which
I love the Wolfman.
Yeah, I was amazed. I was completely caught off guard. I thought this was going to be more aligned with like Invisible Man and Frankenstein, where it's more like science based horror, I guess, but it's way more like mystic and like
a curse.
Yeah, which is really interesting to me. I like all this stuff where it's like the werewolf can see their next victim, like they can see the little thing, the emblem on them. That's really neat. This is also unique in that the monster actor gets to be like human for a lot of it. Yeah. You don't really see that very often, where they get to actually be themselves for most of it. But yeah, this one I really, and the special effects here are really cool. I love it's very kind of cheesy in modern day, but like the way they just kind of do the fade cuts for
Yeah.
like the hair growing and stuff. It's
Yeah,
really charming.
when they go in and they put piece on and piece on, and
Yeah.
that is the best they ever did. It's not like other movies where um we come back and do the Wolfman like an Abbott and Costello, or in the other ones, or the Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. The time they take to do the transformations, they don't spend the time anymore. So instead of being like little tufts over a whole day with his head bolted in place, it's a whole patch. It's a whole piece, you know.
Sure.
But I love the finished makeup on him so much.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, it's just a mask on launch. Like he didn't want to have the 8 hours in the makeup chair.
Which
But I just, well, yeah, I wouldn't want to either. But if like you're paying him to come back, just when he's going through and again, you have a Wolfman. I don't know my history well enough, but like the Wolfman, the werewolf in legend, it wasn't so much tortured soul. It was someone as a werewolf, and then they became they're bad in the they're bad when they're human also. Then like the bite makes them. They're evil no matter what. They have to be vanquished. You have to catch like a vampire. You have to catch them when they're human, but they're stronger as a wolf man. But in this one, they played up the whole tortured soul where he has to try and fight it the whole time. He's a good person who got bad luck.
Yeah. And this one's not based on anything, right? This was an original.
I believe so.
I mean, it's based on the lore of werewolves,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, it's not the story wise. And I think I read online that like a lot of modern werewolf lore comes straight from this movie.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Well, and it's like Dracula, like vampires weren't. They could go out in the daytime until Nosferatu. Oh, we need to finish the movie. Sunlight.
Yeah.
This one here, I don't think that the silver cane, the handle of the cane, was a thing in legend. I do love how you have the Wolfman with his claws and his teeth, and he strangles people.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was because the ratings wouldn't let him bite someone and have blood, or if it was because the makeup would get messed up. But I've always thought that was such a weird thing of like, well, just show him. But I guess he can't have anything bloody. And then Frankenstein's also a strangler, so it might have just been a choker. It might have just been like the style back then. Oh, he's a killer, so he has to strangle him. Yeah. And then they probably go, well, that's what they'll let us do that much, you know.
Yeah. And also, not to. I don't know. I got D&D on the brain for some reason, but werewolves in D&D, I take a lot from this movie as well. Like something that I always thought was interesting in D&D is that werewolves have like 3 forms. You have the human form, the werewolf form, which I think of as a werewolf, like the man, half man, very hairy, and then you can just go into a full wolf form, and that actually is in this movie. I didn't realize that was something from. Like the actual,
so far back, I always forget that too. Yeah,
because the werewolf the werewolf that turns the main character is like a full-on wolf when he's confronted.
And they brought that back for the Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer wolf, which I haven't watched in years, so I shouldn't recommend or talk about it. But they have him do the transformation into the Wolfman for majority of it, but then at the end, you get I think the impression is that he's turned into, once you're a full wolf, you don't come back. You just,
I got you.
You're in the wild. So how many wolves were out there that used to be, paying taxes and stuff?
Oh, that's fun.
But there are the two kinds. What do you prefer though? The wolf man on hind legs is like the old question. Up on hind legs like Lon Chaney Jr., or do you want the quadruped, the on all fours like an American Werewolf in London?
Yeah. I think the walking on their back legs, I think that's more interesting to look at. I love like when he's like kind of doing that weird walk through the mist. It looks incredible. Yeah. But if I had to encounter one in the wild, I definitely would prefer that one as well, because the ones on 4 legs are terrifying, like the giant dire wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought that was. I love that this movie is just. There's just so much lore, and there's so much just like rules, and I love the little poem about like the curse and everything. Another thing that's interesting in this movie, your werewolf wounds heal instantly. Yeah. Another thing, I think it's another werewolf lore and stuff, but definitely in D&D, when you get attacked by a werewolf, the wounds never heal. Like you're always just bleeding out of it. That's how you can kind of tell when someone's if you run into somebody and they're bandaged up and bleeding, you're immediately just a little suspicious of them because it's like,
That's
oh,
interesting. That's an interesting take on that.
yeah, which is why I thought it was cool in this movie where he's just like, look, I was attacked by a werewolf and there's nothing there, and it's like, oh shit, it's the exact opposite. Yeah, the other thing I really want to note is Mr. Twiddle in this movie. I love him so much. His acting is in like the overacting of the blubbering fear and everything. I could watch. I want a Mr. Twiddle spinoff.
I wonder because this is after Bride, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
by a couple minutes. So like, and Bride has so much more humor in it than the original ones. I wonder if they started realizing that that's part of the softening it. We can give a little bit of some side characters like that.
Yeah, and I really love that. Which is another thing, because this movie introduces a lot of side characters. Some of them I kind of find boring. Like the wolf hunters are all kind of dorks. I like the guy that's trying to steal the girl. I think his name's Jack. When they're like doing the carnival games, and the main character is clearly having like PTSD when he's like trying to shoot that wolf target thing, and the other guy's like, "Go ahead and shoot him. He's gonna attack you." He's just being such a dick. I was like, this guy sucks, but he's fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, they have to have filler because they can't have the monster on screen the whole time.
Yeah.
I wish they would, but yeah, it's like they got to have some kind of a back. This I wonder if this one also came around because no one expected. I mean, you kind of do when you have Boris Karloff playing the monster. Everyone's rooting for the monster because the first one he dies at the end, and like they're almost surprised. Like the studio, like, oh, people want him back. They don't want him to die. They want to keep bringing him back. And even though it's not like a Jason Voorhees or the kind of thing, you're rooting for the monster the whole time. It's like with the Wolfman because you don't root for Dracula. You don't root for the Visible Man, especially the Visible Man. He's a dick. Like I thought he was Invisible Man and Dracula are in that camp. They're the guys that are villains, and then everyone else pretty much back then is misunderstood. I mean, like there's a reason that they're actually the heroes of these pieces. That's why the monster movies are so important, is because they're teaching the viewer empathy.
Yeah.
But I always wondered, not always. I'm thinking, did they steer the Wolfman this way because they trying to copy everyone rooting for Karloff's creature? Because in this one, he's still a monster. He's still cool, but like they know no one's rooting for the hunters ever.
Right.
No one. They're kind of rooting for, and whoever kills the monster isn't the hero of the piece, like the Ahab kind of version of it. Yeah. So they get it. They get best of both worlds. They're the cool monster, but also you're rooting for him. Mm-hmm. Like they're trying to recreate Frankenstein, and it totally works because you love Larry in this thing, Lawrence.
Yeah, and I think it's cool too the way that like there isn't really, I would say, like an antagonist in this so much as it is like, there's the humans trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Sorry about
that. They're trying howling.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. But I like that the science does come in on this, where it's them trying to explain. It's like, oh, when somebody is so convinced of something, then it becomes their reality, and then they start acting on that. I thought that was really interesting that they kind of this has like a science versus. I feel like the other ones, especially like Frankenstein, is kind of like a science versus religion kind of aspect to it. And this has that too, but instead of it being against religion and like morality, it's more against like this mystic power and this like curses and things. It's kind of cool. I love the mystic lady in this. She's probably like a very offensive stereotype to some. Like I'm sure it's not a great depiction of like but it wasn't meant to at the time. It was not meant to be. That's what I kind of do when you watch old stuff, like Mad Monster Party. It wasn't meant to be offensive. Right. It was meant to be fun. It's just you kind of have to divorce yourself of the time. We were a little loosey-goosey with our fun back then.
Yeah. I just love the accents in this thing because I don't know where it's at. It's not set like it's not Transylvania, and it's not Germany. I don't know what country they're
Wales. Is that right?
I'm not sure. So it's that far? Okay, maybe. I have no idea. I have no idea. But like the accents are everywhere across Europe. I just love Chaney Jr. in this. I think he's like his best role. I know he was in Of Mice and Men, and he comes back and he's the monster and he does everything else. But this is the one where as an adult now, by the way I am. Watching him as the human side, not just in the makeup, is like you're watching him going, he's really doing it. He's committed to this. He's even though in a minute he's going to be covered with mortician's wax and yak hair, he's still doing something with it. He's trying to prove that he's way before that phrase. But God, he's just so good.
Say that one more time. You cut out in the middle of that sentence.
That he's doing more than just being a nepo baby. He's more than just his father.
Yeah,
because his dad was the actor.
Yeah, his dad was a fan of the opera.
Lon Chaney,
right?
one of them, yeah, Family Opera, Hunchback, a vampire, bunch of things like that.
Sure.
Vampire at Midnight, isn't that right? Yeah.
Yeah. I love the Wolfman. I'm excited to talk about the Invisible Man though, because this movie, every time I watch it, I love it more, because it feels so much like the opposite of the Wolfman in a lot of ways, in that it's not about like lore. There's not a lot of it's mostly just like a series of really cool gimmicks, like camera shots and stuff. Yeah. And I love it. It's so interesting, like this early on, the tricks that people were coming up with, especially like the ones that come to mind immediately are like the footsteps in the snow, which is
right.
really neat. You got the butt sitting in the chair, which I always think about how that's his naked butt in that chair, and like that bothers me a little bit, but
well, don't sit there next. Yeah,
right. But yeah, him like smoking in that scene, I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is incredible. It's crazy what they were able to pull off.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's just a really fun movie of just like a person who has driven themselves crazy by drinking chemicals that makes them turn invisible and just being a silly, goofy, crazy dude. Yeah. It's got my favorite lady from Bride of Frankenstein in it.
She's back.
Yeah, that actress. I love her so much. She has a great reaction shot in this where she like asks to take his coat or something. He's like, no. And she's like, whoa.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Be a dick. Yeah. No, I wonder how much of this was based on they had a gimmick and then they thought, I mean, the book came first, and the book is very much, I remember this in the book, the guy's, I think it's the first person he's telling someone, and to prove he's there, he eats like cheese. And then the person watching him watches the cheese get all meshed up in the air and then kind of get wetter and kind of go down the throat, because he's invisible.
Yeah.
And then slowly in his stomach disappear as it gets dissolved by, like, this is how I learned about digestion. But the filmmaking had to be like, okay, how do we do this? Do they have an idea how to do it? And then made the script match it? Like, because the unwrapping the head.
Yeah.
Now you watch it, now you kind of go, oh yeah, but when the wraps are behind his head, you should be able to see the inside of it. I don't care.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And then I love the fact, and it's from the book too. I remember that I read it as a kid. The rubber nose he has on, and the little bits of hair, like he's trying to prove he's inside the suit. And then that rubber nose, I've always thought that was what a weird touch to have the this, because it's like he's trying. Oh no, I'm in here. Look, I'm a human being. Right. I have a nose. You know. Right. I always thought that was, because they always forget that when people do the costume, or when I see a drawing of it, or when Adam Sandler has a movie, it's just the bandages and sunglasses maybe and a hat. There's never a nose. There's never the other little pieces to it. And that little detail just kind of goes, yeah. Is he being like a narcissist? He has a pretty nose. He wants that to come across as that I'm a person. Yeah. But he's Dracula. He's a bastard. Yeah. He's choking people. And again, like the footprints, he's wearing shoes, right? The footprints.
Right.
Yeah. Because in the book, he dies from, like, I think he gets pneumonia from walking around barefoot. And they're like, who cares? No one's gonna catch that. But he's in that same camp of being like, he's a villain. He's a classic villain, like Dracula. And like they just, that's probably why I never think about him as being in my top guys, of those guys back then. Yeah. Now, what carries over for you from this one to the latest one, the Lee Winnell one?
I think just the genuinely, I mean, if your adversary, if someone wanted you harmed, and they have the ability to be invisible, that is actually terrifying. Yeah. Like, the idea of that is legitimately very upsetting. And I think both movies do, like, obviously the more recent one is a lot more violent and a lot more scary. But this movie does do a good job of like showing that it's like, even if there was 50 men out in the woods trying to catch you, if you're invisible, that's pretty. You're
You
you're
can
pretty
just
set.
wave. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, throwing people off cliffs and stuff. I mean, he derails an entire train. He has to have like the most. He has to be the most deadly monster of this era.
I think body count definitely.
Yeah.
I always like that. He has a bigger body count in the new ones, and I'm kind of including the Lee Winnell Visible Man, and then I always toss in not the Carpenter Chevy Chase one because life's too short, but the Paul Verhoeven Kevin Bacon Hollow Man.
Oh, Hollow Man.
And Hollow Man, and that one scares me too because that is it's not just that he's invisible because that doesn't make you a bad guy, but it's the fact that he's just so evil and so mean, and can be anywhere. There's like if it's someone in the shadows hiding out can jump out you, he could be sitting here right now, listening to everything you say,
Right
all
next
your
to you.
secrets. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very and like the intrusion of privacy as well. It's just like never being able to feel calm or relaxed, even if you're like home, because you just
you're
never know.
never safe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very upsetting. But yeah, this is like you said, you're never really rooting for the Invisible Man to succeed in his plans, because his plans are to like, I think he literally says he's gonna like rape and murder like across the country. It's like
I'm not sure how he phrased it, but that was the whole point. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like, bro,
I'm gonna pillage and bloomer inspection or whatever it was. And that's the thing that's the bit they kept from this one is, and there's versions that aren't that bad, that aren't mean. True. But the new one is he's a bastard. The ex-wife, he's tormenting her, and they kind of go, well, the original one, he's absolutely the bad guy. He's doing terrible things. So just like the original film.
And they give him the out of like, oh, it's because he's on the chemical, because they said like, they tested it on a dog and the dog went insane or something like that. So it's like, okay, he's not just a naturally evil person, but like he is evil for sure. Like at this point in time, he's not a good guy. But you're never really rooting for him, but that doesn't make him like any less fun to watch. And not that you can really watch him, but see him interact with other people.
Yeah.
And again, another thing that this is very different from the Wolfman is like the main actor you'd never see until like the very, very end. I don't even know if is it the same voice as the face at the end there?
I think it is. I think Herbert Lom, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of sequels to this, but I read that it's a different character every time.
Yeah. Like there's like a secret agent kind of thing they get into.
Okay. That's
it's all.
That's also very interesting to me. Cause like, obviously the other monsters of this era, it's different actors playing them, but it's generally the same character. For the most part. Is Wolfman that way as well?
It's Chaney Jr. plays him in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, and then he's back for Abbott and Costello. In I think House of Frankenstein, it's still the Wolfman, and it's always Chaney Jr. I'm not sure about the Creature from Black Lagoon, but I think it's the same guy, because there's two guys. There was the actor, then the deep diver, and obviously the Frankenstein's monster was everyone that fit the suit. Right. After Karloff was like, no, screw you. Then you have Bela Lugosi plays him, Chaney Jr. plays him, Glenn Strange pops in the suit.
Yeah, and when you see this actor in the Wolfman, Chaney Jr., is that his name?
Yeah, Lon Chaney Jr.
Yeah. When you see him standing next to other people, it's like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna play Frankenstein's monster. Like that guy's huge.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
But yeah, out of those three that I watched today, I think I can recommend Invisible Man to anybody. It's just so, they're all relatively short, but this one flies by because there's just not a lot of plot going on. It's mostly just like a long police chase and like shenanigans. And I forgot to mention the cop. I love the cop so much in this. What's all this then? Like, we just talked, or we're gonna be talking about the Wicker Man in a future episode, and very similar vibes to that cop.
Yeah. this staunch, the delivery, yeah.
It's like the Monty Python depiction of a cop, pretty much. Um, yeah, so I definitely recommend Invisible Man. I think I could recommend Wolfman to most people too. I think um
I think most people have a good idea what the Wolfman is.
yeah.
Um, but they could watch it for the craft and for like and just how cool. And all of these are worth watching, obviously.
Sure.
But I bet you Invisible Man. Most people think they know what it's about. They
Yeah.
probably, if they haven't seen it, because like if you haven't seen the Wolfman, you'll enjoy it, but you're not gonna be surprised by it. Like with Bride, you're only surprised because the bride's in it for 3 minutes. Whereas Invisible Man, I think you're totally right. Whereas people are going to be coming here going, "Oh, I didn't expect this much action and the
Yeah.
chase
It'd be fun.
and the fact that he is." But also, we're so used to like in the main character has to be. It's different. Like it's such a different movie than I would have expected going back to it.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, going into it, yeah, because I'm kind of thinking now, like before I watched it, either earlier this year or last year, I don't know what I even would have said was the plot of that movie. You know, because it's like the Invisible Man to me prior to watching it was more of like just a character, like a concept. It's a person who's invisible. Like I would have probably assumed it was something like it would have played out like Frankenstein, where it's like a guy trying to become invisible, and most of the movie is him just like experimenting and failing and things. But no, this movie right out of the gate, there's an invisible man. He's crazy. He wants to make chaos happen, and there's a bunch of townspeople trying to catch him. That's the movie.
That's the Why waste time?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, people probably know the character from things like Hotel Transylvania or that kind of stuff. They probably think it's just a guy that comes by. Unfortunately, has to get naked. And that is the weird drawback to it. Yeah.
There's a moment in this where he's chasing around a group of people, and he's just wearing a t-shirt, and I'm just like, man, he's just like full on Winnie the Poohing it right now, just running around with all his junk out, but no one can see it.
I thought invisible junk.
Right.
That's the actual title of the movie originally. I wonder if there's at some point there was going to be a talk about because when he dies, spoiler alert, he turns visible again. And I know in the book that was a question: will he even turn visible after dying? I think H.G. Wells, and then but I'm like he's running around naked. I think my fear would be because again, as a kid watching this first time read the book, what happens if you're running around, invisible, naked, and then suddenly it stops happening. Right. And like, oh, now you're out there and like, oh, hey, hi,
yeah.
Now it's a horror movie. This has got to have been parodied in that level because I don't think that originally it doesn't come off to me that original film as him being naked being a big deal at all.
Right.
It's not even a thought. Minus his butt in the chair. They have he's wearing shoes in the snow as the footprints. Then we find him at the end. They don't show anything. It's like every year it was. But I think every time I've seen it since then, done seriously, it is like, oh, he has to be here naked. Not the new one, because he's just wearing they made it all science. But the Kevin Bacon one, it's very much that he's running around naked, and he's a god because he's free of all of your minor, self-esteem things or whatever. I forgot to do it.
Sure.
I did like that one quite a bit. That is not a great movie, but I do enjoy like the effects. It gets very CG when he's changing, but the idea of evil Kevin Bacon running around, tormenting Thanos and not Thanos, the Karate Kid girl.
I forgot. I'm people in this world.
Well, it's Josh Brolin, but I forgot his name. I was gonna go Grant from Goonies, but yeah, he's had a career since then.
Oh my god, I forgot he was in Goonies. I haven't seen Goonies since I was like real young. I probably would love that movie,
dude. And I will say Goonies is kind of a monster movie because the thing is, when you introduce Sloth, he's a monster, and then immediately the kids love him. He is Frankenstein's monster. He is Black Lagoon. He is right what we're talking about. He is that no one loves him. His family, the Fratellis. This is such a tangent. This is why this is what I think the point is of why people love monsters and why we need to have monsters. It teaches the viewer, especially kids, empathy. You don't get them from Dracula. Screw that guy. Garlic him. And Invisible Man, he's a monster, doesn't deserve it. But a lot of these characters are just misunderstood. The creature of Black Lagoon is out swimming, and then he crushes a couple of heads, but he still gets trapped and taken back to the mainland. You root for him. You want him to go free. The Wolfman, it wasn't his fault. He got bit.
Right. He was being
Um,
heroic.
he was being heroic. He was being a good guy, and then
Yeah.
he has to. So you wanna root for him, going forward. But like Sloth is a monster.
Yeah.
Godzilla is Godzilla shows up originally. He's obviously the metaphor for the H bomb, I think, the A bomb, and then but in the sequels he's the hero. So kids are rooting for him, and there are times when he's getting beat, he pops up and he's the big guy who's going to help out the little guy.
Yeah.
You root for the monster. It teaches empathy.
For
So
sure.
I think that's
For sure.
what it is. And in Mad Monster Party,
Teaches you that.
yeah, I was trying to go for a punchline. It teaches misogyny. But that only exists because kids from like the 30s until like the 60s, and that thing was made or whatever, for 30 years have been trained to root up, cheer for the monster. You know, you've got what's all in there. You've got
Everybody.
if you haven't seen a Mad Monster Party ? Which is always bad luck. Is he Baron Frankenstein or is he just Baron Karloff?
Yeah, I'm not sure because they all call him like the master and
The master, the Baron, but they don't think they say his name for obvious reasons.
I think they do call him the Baron. I think you're right. Because
that seems
at
like
one
it's
point
right.
they're gonna like snitch on each other and they're like, I'm gonna go tell the Baron.
Too bad that name's ruined now. So Mad Monster Party is it's stop motion that a name for like animagic was the coined phrase. The same guys that did Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph. So it's the exact same style where they would sometimes it's spinning, sometimes it's stop motion. And it is Boris Karloff as the Baron, which is just Dr. Frankenstein. And he invites everyone to his to the Mad Monster Party. So you've got oh gosh, who's on there? The creature and his bride, which is Phyllis Diller, which I always loved.
Yes.
The Wolfman, Invisible Man's there. There's a Creature in Black Lagoon version. You have isn't Hunchback there?
Yep.
Which I always argue because that's not really a universal monster, but again, he was a monster. And again, actually, there's a prime example of a character that is a monster that you root for.
Yeah.
Again, the book for about 10 pages, but like everywhere else, Quasimodo is the guy you root for. And it's Wolfman. Oh geez, Gilman. I think they call him Gilman in there. You have like an Igor who's just the creepiest. Yeah. Like it's just a Peter Lorre impression where he's just like, oh, I want to hold you and touch you and kiss you.
He's so horny.
He is just so. It's just, and again, after I said, oh, we should watch it for this whole topic, and then I'm watching, going, oh, Jesse's gonna judge me. He's gonna go. That explains so much about Jason, about what's wrong with that guy's head. Because I watched that thing stupid young, because that would have been on California.
I would have loved it as a kid.
Oh, and it did. You sing it. You sing the songs, and it's just like, but it also has the greatest joke that's way beyond it because it's made for kids. But at one point, everyone's they do the voices going like this. Their inner monologue, and they're talking about certain things, and then we need to get back there and get to the secret before the darkness gets here, before King Kong gets here. Oh no, we didn't do. Oh, I need to get there and do this. And then Phyllis Diller's character goes, "It's her own fault because she was thinking so loudly." And I'm just like, that is such a great joke.
Yeah,
that's like a Naked Gun kind of a joke that was, I'm sure, was beyond me as a kid. It's beyond me now almost. But then there's a long song and dance in the middle of it for no reason.
There's a lot of songs in here that are just not very good, but I love them so much. Like it's just like most of the songs, like the one that comes to mind is the Mummy song that plays. Where they're just repeating over and over again, like he's the mummy, or something along those lines, just like over and over again. And I love. I think Frankenstein's bride is my favorite character in this.
Oh yeah,
she's so funny, and she has a great song too, where she's singing about Frankenstein's monster, and it's just like, you're not very charming, and you're not handsome, and you're not funny, but you're really different, and I like that. It's very wholesome.
The chef who's making the octopus, that's a beautiful scene because all the animation. It's just so good. And he's slapping it. Then he gets all mad. He's gonna murder. He grabs a knife. He's gonna murder the henchman. And I remember thinking he's gonna cut that guy's face off. I'm gonna make you into the stew. And I don't know what accent it was, but he's threatening with a knife. And I'm like going, as a kid, I'm going, that's the worst thing I'd seen at the time.
Yeah.
I don't realize how formative that was. And then at the end, it's the giant self-sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
King Kong shows up. Jeez, there's probably the first time I saw like a mushroom cloud in a movie was
Yeah, it's
this.
weird. It's weird how it's kind of like not played to be as dark as I think it is. Like,
Yeah,
because the whole thing is like he's inviting all these people over because he created pretty much an atom bomb, right? Like it.
pretty much. Yeah,
And like his whole thing is he's going to announce his retirement and going to give everything to his nephew, I think.
yeah.
Who also, that character is insane. Sounds like Nicolas Cage.
It really does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did not notice until.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Francesca. Like, I love him so much. But yeah, but by the end of this movie, and spoiler, genuinely, if you haven't seen it, you should definitely go watch it. It's so fun. If you love those like Christmas movies, this is a great Halloween movie to introduce. Like, it blows my mind that this isn't like on everyone's Halloween movie list.
It absolutely should be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so fun and genuinely like good. You could tell it was made with like adults in mind as well, like as kids.
It's very much like an early Shrek.
Yeah,
Where it's made for kids, but the humor it's not dirty humor, but like it's made for.
Although
some of it's kind of but it's yeah, so is Shrek though, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
But yeah, but so the end of this movie is the Frankenstein self-sacrificing by dropping the atom bomb on his castle. But it kills pretty much the entire cast. Like everybody dies in this movie except for Francesca and the nephew. Which is so weird and dark, but it's like kind of played for laughs and like has this like triumphant music happening while it's going on. I love the shot of it for me. It was like my on your left moment from Avengers. When because I love the little henchmen goblin guys who are just like idiots, falling over themselves and stuff. And early on in the movie, you see them like cleaning up these planes. And then by the end, like they're all flying in to go attack King Kong on these planes, and I was just like, genuinely had this moment of like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
That's the one thing that was missing as a plane. Yeah,
right. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a really, really good movie. Really fun. It does have a lot of like ugh, for its time.
But no worse than like Looney Tunes.
No, yeah.
So if you're still laughing at Bugs Bunny, this is definitely nothing worse than that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. I don't think there's anything in this that's gonna make anyone turn it off, unless you're like very sensitive to that kind of thing. Which fair enough. But I mean, at worst, it's like again mind blowing. This isn't a children's movie, but like there is a scene where two women are fighting each other, and the first thing they do is rip each other's clothes off. It's like, what is going on? Why is this movie so horny? They have Francesca, who's like the love interest, who just like has 4 times the size of tits that she needs.
Well, spoiler alert, she's also a robot. So
right. Yeah.
The Baron made her for a reason.
That's true. Well, that's true.
Two reasons. Yeah.
In my headcanon, she's not actually a robot. I think well, this is what I think from her perspective. I think that she was like, okay, we got to kill this nephew because the Baron needs to leave all this shit to me. I'm his like number one creation or whatever. So, and then it's like, oh, that plan's not working. We tried to kill him, but he kept evading, everything. So I'm just going to be his wife. He's going to inherit everything. I'll just be his wife. And then everything goes up, giant atom bomb. The entire island's gone. And she's like, oh, I can't actually be your wife because I'm a robot.
I like that read. It actually makes a lot more sense. I have to watch it again now with that filter on.
Yeah, I think also it kind of I don't know if it's purposeful or not. I'm going to say it is because I like this movie. But it does kind of lead into what we were talking about earlier with having empathy towards monsters. I like that the way that she describes like why she can't be with him forever is because she describes herself as a machine with like a bunch of little components that can go bad. And it's like
Yeah.
that's genuinely what a person is also. Like she's
Yeah.
still human in that description. She's like, I have lungs that eventually, you know, the battery will go bad on, and my heart is a spring that needs to be wound, and my muscle or my joints are gonna rust. And it's like, yeah, those are all like ailments that will also, obviously we don't have batteries in our lungs, but like, you know, we're also made of a bunch of complex little machines that can go wrong. I just thought that was kind of cute.
And I think my first, again, spoiler alert for a movie that we're telling to go to watch, but haven't, at the end when he reveals that he's also a creation, was my first body horror thing. When he goes, nobody's perfect, nobody's perfect, nobody's perfect,
Yeah.
nobody's perfect. Oh, he's a robot too. That's my Blade Runner right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love this
It's
movie.
kind of a creepy ending.
No, I know it is, because then the whole time is your hero, he's a robot.
Yeah.
And he's been the whole time. So you have to watch it go, oh my gosh. And then I don't think I've ever gone back and watched again thinking the whole time that he is a robot.
Right.
I know I always think about this movie whenever I watch the Hotel Transylvania movie. I'm a big Adam Sandler fan. And whenever I watch those, I'm always thinking, well, you need to have Boris Karloff. Like I'm always like faulting it for not being this movie, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I've never seen those, but I feel like they must have a lot of similarities.
It's very much a kids movie that's fine being a kids movie, because they have a human character that shows up and it's like he's going to inherit everything. So there's it's not ripping this one off,
Right.
and the audience is different, because this is definitely like a Shrek kind of an audience, where it's building on movies that, okay, you've liked these movies in the 30s, now we're going to show it to you again. And I don't think anyone's accused Hotel Transylvania of being horny. I don't think.
Although I've seen some fan art, and the fan base is definitely horny.
That's why I have parental locks on my internet. I don't want to know. I don't need to. But the empathy though, because you have King Kong show up at the end, and they play him off as the bad guy. I think King Kong, right up there with Karloff's Frankenstein, is the most empathized upon character in all these horror movies, R.K. Owens.
Sure.
Because at the end, you're never rooting for the biplanes,
Right.
shooting at Kong. You're always rooting for when it's done correctly. There's the one from the 76 King Kong, which just kind of goes back and forth. But Peter Jackson's King Kong, and again the new ones, I haven't seen all the new ones where he's fighting Godzilla, which is made for me. And I'm like, I needed to have fingerprints on. I needed to be.
Yeah, I was super disinterested in that series until I saw King Kong with like a power glove on, and he punches Godzilla in the face, and I was like, all right, I'll watch those movies eventually.
he's got the Nintendo glove on. Yeah. So obviously I'm a original King Kong, grew up with. Son of Kong's okay. I love Mighty Joe Young, the original, and I love the Mighty Joe Young with Bill Paxton, where it is a CG monkey and a prop, an effect. The Peter Jackson one, outside of being too fucking long, is really good, and it does have the point of it being, you love Naomi Watts and Kong are meant to be friends and stuff.
Yeah,
and then the new ones are like, okay, I don't think it's meant to have that. It is going to be. We have, instead of Iron Man, we have Kong and whatnot.
We got big monsters punching each other.
Which is awesome. But, but you're not having empathy. You're not like feeling for him. Oh, is Kong going to be okay? Yeah. It's just it's spectacle and it's awesome.
Exactly. It's like a Need for Speed movie. You're not going to watch that for any reason other than watch cars go fast and do cool stunts.
Very true. Although I did like the first King Kong, the recent one, King of the Monsters. I did the guy that made Trick or Treat did the first one, Doherty.
Oh, really?
I remember liking a lot of that one, like the cast and all the characters. And then it was just one of those things where I need to go back to them and watch them again and quit being a pompous jackass. But I need to watch the Peter Jackson one again, because I know that the big joke is, by the time Jack Black's good and Amy Watts is good, but by the time in the Peter Jackson one, when King Kong shows up, is that time from beginning to that point is longer than the original King Kong, the entire film.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I'm like, well, if you're making all the money after you have a Lord of the Rings money, go for it.
There's some like I do like the fun big monster stuff that happens in
Yeah,
that movie. The dinosaur chases and stuff. There's a
yeah,
lot of really
yeah.
fun stuff in there. I have a very soft spot in my heart for that movie. I watched it a lot when it came out because I was like the right age for it.
Yeah.
And then also it had like one of the best video games based on a movie I've ever
Oh, really?
played. Like it genuinely really really good. I mean like people still to this day love that game so much and I put so many hours into it. Because it was I mean, it's half of the game. You're just a little person walking around with these giant creatures, around you and trying to survive. And then the other half of the game, you were playing as King Kong, like climbing
Oh,
the
cool.
city walls and stuff. Yeah, it's really neat. But so I've always had a really soft spot in my heart for that, and I feel like that was like where I learned the name Peter Jackson.
Oh, really? Okay.
Despite because that movie has always been called Peter Jackson's King Kong. Like no one ever
Yeah.
just referred to it as King Kong, which I think that's kind of unique in that way. I can't think of like very many other examples of movies that were like the director. I mean, you got like Tim
With the
Burton.
exception of, well, like John Carpenter, by law, it's his contract. It has to be John Carpenter's Halloween.
Sure.
But people do, they refer to it as Rob Zombie's Halloween,
Oh yeah,
but they're not doing it in a nice way. they're doing it
to differentiate.
to differentiate and and I dig those movies. But they kind of crap on there. I need to go back and watch the Peter Jackson King Kong because I remember watching it and in the theater going, this is amazing. And then on home video, I was like, oh, he's this, and I just, it's going to lose that
Sure.
side to it though.
The spectacle.
But when they fight into those centipede things,
Yeah.
when Gollum is fighting those guys in the alley or in the trench,
Mhm.
I was all in. That was horrifying.
Yeah, yeah.
But it and I think just by nature, because the original King Kong, that's one because you do root for, and Fay Ray is never friends with the monster. It's not like the Naomi Watts one where
Yeah.
she is trying to get him to save. Fay Ray's a great screamer. She never plays it off that in any way that he's less than a giant beast. But then it's kind of also there's other reads about that too that I've read recently. But like the craft of that stop motion and mechanical hands and stuff.
Mhm.
Is just something to it's like Jason the Argonauts. You watch it, you can watch it
Yeah.
for the movie, then you can also go, how the hell do they pull that off, right?
Yeah.
I forget, was it, oh man, was it either, I want to say it was Tarantino on like an Eli Roth podcast was talking, or it might have been a Rob Zombie. It was one of those history of horror podcasts
Sure.
for Eli Roth show, and they kind of pointed out that Kong is more important than just a monster movie because Kong is a black man in America. And I was just like, what? And they started going through it. They're like, and I don't mean like in a racist, like, oh, because he's a
Right.
a giant ape, but they're saying he's there. He's another world where he's perfect. And they bring him over here and they just they just destroy him,
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm just like going, okay, I don't know if Tarantino's on coke this era of him, but then I was kind of looking at it going, and I don't mean that it forced upon, but when they're making the movie, they were making that with in mind that we're going to have it be the sympathetic character being a native islander,
Yeah.
and no one in the movie understands them. They're just, except for the one guy at the end who has one nice line after they killed him. Well, Beauty killed the beast. I don't know what that would mean with the race card.
Right.
Oh my god, I love Kong. Kong is such a when I was a kid, they were doing the Rick Baker the remake in like '76, and it was a big part of the making of Empire Strikes Back. Talked about the making of that Kong and the original Kong, and they're showing it wasn't Harryhausen. He was later on, the craft of that monster of the maquette, the animatronics for Kong. It just burns your brain as far as how that's possible when you have a camera that, okay, you have rigged up so you can do a frame at a time. And I think they were doing more than just 12 frames because normal animation is 12 frames.
Sure.
But to go through and have it be, here's the camera, here's the Kong. Okay, I can make it move by putting stop, but also I'm going to have this whole world behind it. And I'm going to have a pterodactyl flying in the background. I'm having two guys fight. I'm going to have the trees in the breeze. It's just, and then have it be a matte shot because the guys below. It hurts your brain. I get tired of like, again, movies today are amazing. Every movie is a miracle. But it is 1,000 guys and animators doing it, and it's a program, and we understand how to do it, and it's a lot of work. But King Kong, it's like 3 guys and a lot of paint.
Yeah, I was
Just
just saying, like the
going
fact that
through.
there's no computer to keep track of all that shit for you. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it all has to be in front of you, and you have to map it out in your head. Completely mind blowing.
And there's math involved because there's measurements because you have to have the camera be in focus. You can't see what the camera's shooting until you get it processed. And also, a lot of those shots take more than a day to do.
Yeah.
So you're doing it, and then you're having his raise his hand. Okay, I'm going to fall asleep now. All right, lock it down. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, was he going back or was he going forward? You know. Because there has to be, and then that's my thing is there's deleted scenes from King Kong. Okay, I make commercials. Every once in a while, the commercial goes on, and then it doesn't get used, or it gets canceled, or it doesn't get approved. Right? Sure. I'm like, oh no, I wasted like 4 hours of my life. I feel again, I'm hourly. But now imagine a deleted scene in King Kong.
Yeah.
Where they spend 3 months making Kong he's stepping on something, reaches down, and they're like, no, we're not gonna use that. And it's like, but.
What do you
Making
mean
other movies I don't have fingerprints anymore. I've breathed all the tar off of the head.
I missed so many of my children's birthdays.
My wife's had kids that don't involve me at all since I started doing this, you know. But it has to be, and maybe that's a secret. Maybe the love that those guys had making the movie is captured in the film, and then people watching it fall in love with these kind of characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that the Mighty Joe Young is another one where it's a smaller monkey, and he dies rescuing kids in like if you say it out loud, it's the most manipulative thing ever. It's Mighty Joe Young. He escapes. They're trying to get him away. There's an orphanage on fire, so he goes in to save the orphans. Of course, you're gonna love him. How can you not love him? Kind of thing. But you're watching it. You have to be cynical as just stupidly cynical.
Yeah. To
not cry at the end of Mighty Joe Young. I can't remember how the Bill Paxton, the remake, does it, but the original one, and that's an amazing trick of film to have. It is a chunk of rubber with metal rods inside of it, painted with clay on the face, being moved one frame every 12 frames per second, and it makes the world ball. It is a Gumby doll. You know.
It reminds me of the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where it's like a shot of a CGI raccoon with a tear coming down his face, and like I'm bawling my eyes out.
You're sitting there. I'm gonna be a better person because yeah. Well, and then for that matter, the first one for me when Vin Diesel says "I am Groot" or "We are Groot" or whatever it was, and I'm like, I'm bawling because of Vin Diesel. Okay, that's
at least
that's
with Yondu, it's Michael Rooker, so you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Rooker Henry rocks. Okay.
Yeah.
But then I let myself be okay because Vin Diesel was the Iron Giant, and so he's actually gets points.
Is that true?
He was Iron Giant voice.
I had no idea.
And he's really good too because he hits that just the right inflection of like, you know, of a big tin idiot
Iron
robot.
Giant would also fit it right in with all these monster movies as well.
Most of these things, the Godzillas, the Rodan is one that I grew up with. The giant monster that you kind of like, you understand, but by the end, it's not their fault that they're here.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah. Jeez.
Good stuff.
I need to go watch it. But my argument is that we need monsters to teach us empathy. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not in real life. That's why they shouldn't be that realistic. Because if we actually had a giant Godzilla show up, you don't want something outside going save the Godzilla like the Matthew Broderick one. Don't save that one. He's just smashing buildings, you know.
Right.
But the little more not quite realistic, where it's a big guy in a suit that does who's fighting the smog monster. That one teaches us something, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a really good point. I think that if anyone has like kids, that definitely show them these movies early on, because I think that not only will they be more equipped to appreciate it because they don't have the plethora of movies that you watch growing up to kind of desensitize yourself, I guess, to it's like, oh, this is in black and white. But I think these movies are made for for kids to kind of like learn those lessons early on as well. Mm-hmm. In a really cool way. And I mean, obviously you got hit with a lot of these movies as a kid. I wasn't so much with these ones. I was more getting traumatized by Freddy Krueger and shit like that. But not that you weren't.
Yeah, that's what I love about Freddy versus Jason. They try and make, because they're both the bad guys. They kill everybody.
Yeah.
You don't root for him until you have Freddy versus Jason. Then it's like, well, which one's Frankenstein? Which one's Dracula?
Oh yeah.
Neither one. Yeah. And I think it was my brother pointed out once that the difference, and he has a couple nuggets of wisdom, but by that I mean two. The difference between a horror movie and a monster movie is modern movies are horror movies, and then when you root for the bad guy, then it's a monster movie.
Okay.
So Freddy versus Jason is a monster movie, not a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, now you're trying to make it. Okay, I'll give you that. But that's why, like, go ahead.
Would you say Jurassic Park is a monster movie or a horror movie, if either?
That's a good question. Because you don't ever root for the well, you do. The first one you root for the T-Rex at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would call it a well, it's also a dinosaur movie.
Is that its
but like, no, is it a monster movie? It should be like one thing coming at you.
Oh,
like you're rooting for King Kong,
Sure.
But then again, we're talking about the star. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would probably put Jurassic Park in one adventure movie.
Sure.
Probably because you're supposed to be in awe, and not supposed to be really scared. But it would be a monster movie because it's a giant dinosaur movie.
Yeah. The thing I think I mentioned this during our discussion on Jaws forever ago. Was I was always in the camp that Jurassic Park was a horror movie until somebody brought up that you need to take the soundtrack into account when deciding.
Oh,
those
perfect!
things.
That's genius. Yeah.
Because it's definitely not a horror soundtrack.
No, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's why I always say that people say that Jaws isn't a horror movie; it's an adventure movie. I'm like, no, that's a horror movie.
Yeah, and not a monster movie.
No, because you're never once rooting for that shark.
Right.
That's a very good distinction. It's not a monster movie. Yeah. God, you're a smart man, Jesse.
I just get lucky sometimes. But yeah, I think we've gone a little over our normal time here, because there's just a lot to talk about. But yeah, I think that that's a good way, nice little bow on it. Is just the things we can learn from these monster movies, empathy, and yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah. Check it all out. Check out Make Mad Monster Party a yearly watch on Halloween. Like
toss it in your Halloween party this year. 100%. Throw that in there.
This and Trick or Treat, the two
perfect
Halloween movies. But yeah, so if you want to let us know, actually, you know what? Let us know what what's your Halloween movie lineup. I would love to because I'm sure there's a bunch of hidden gems out there that I've never heard of, like such as this one. So let us know, and you can let us know on social media, all of our social media platforms down below at TDMMVI Pod, or you can email us directly at tdmmvipod@gmail.com. Yeah. And I think next week we are going to be talking about Wicker Man. Is that correct?
I think it's Wicker Man. Yeah.
Yeah. So
excited about that.
We have a very special guest for that. Who it's going to be great. Check it out for sure. But until then, I'm Jesse Spitzer.
And I'm J.R. Lees.
And this has been The Devil Made Me View It. Thanks for watching.
All right. Thanks, guys.